What is going on, YouTube? Welcome back to another video. In today's video, we are doing another client testimonial. One of our clients, Saul, just wrapped up his time inside of the Physique Lab coaching program, and he is down 39 pounds. I'll go ahead and put his transformation photos down below so you can see exactly what that looked like. And I will also put another transformation photo right over here that he stitched together himself. And as you can see in that photo, he is looking like a lean muscle machine. I wanted to give Saul the opportunity to share all about his time inside of the Physique Lab coaching program, but before we get into the actual testimonial, I wanted to make you aware of two quick things. The first one is that we do have a video explaining every single detail about how the coaching program works, so I will put that thumbnail down below so you know what to look for, as well as link it as a time card up here, and I will also link it down in the video description below. So either click that link below or click up there and you can check out that video. The second thing is that I will also link a calendar down in the video description below. So if after watching this video, you're like, Ty, this sounds awesome, I want to learn more and see how you guys can help me reach my weight loss goals, that is going to be the best way to do it. So go ahead, click that link down below and book in a time to chat with either myself or someone from my team. But without further ado, let's get into the video and see what Saul has to say. What's going on, Saul? How's your day going, man?
It's going pretty good, man. Can't complain.
Yeah, love it. So let's start with this, dude. Where were you before you started the program? And then where are you now having gone through it?
Man, when I started this program, I was 215 pounds, trying all sorts of fad diets, no carbs, high protein. Eventually, just started eating salads and things that you would think, oh, they're healthy.
Mhm.
I wasn't getting anywhere, man. And I was holding 215 for almost 10 years. Got to a point where the doctors told me that I was pre-diabetic, followed by a cancer scare, which really kind of woke me up. Fast
Yeah,
forward to now, I'm down 36 pounds. I'm
let's
at
go.
177, about 2 pounds away from my second goal. I crushed my first goal, 185, and like I said, 2 pounds away from hitting my second goal of 175.
Let's go.
I know.
Absolutely amazing, man. What would you say is like the biggest result that we achieved together? Would you say it's the fact that you've lost 36 pounds, or would you say it's something else outside of that and like something that kind of came along with the fact that you lost that much?
Well, yeah, I would definitely say that it's the 36 pounds is one of the biggest things, but it's also the amount of muscle that I've been able to pack on. So, generally when people lose weight, they kind of shrink. With me, I've maintained my stature. If anything, I've added muscle onto my frame, and I'm not scrawny. So the amount of muscle I've been able to pack in and lose fat at the same time is I didn't think that was possible before this program.
Yeah.
I thought you had to lose the fat first and then pack on the muscle after.
Yep. No skinny fat around here, as they
No,
call it.
no,
You
no,
know,
no.
'cause lots of people, they do almost what you described. It's like, all right, I'm just going to eat salads all day. I'll do a bunch of cardio. And chances are people will lose weight doing it. But one, it's typically not sustainable. But two,
Hmm.
even if they lose the amount of weight that they want, they're still unhappy with the way that they look because they haven't actually changed their body composition. But it sounds like that is not the case with
No,
you here.
no.
Oh, it's awesome. I guess let's rewind, man, all the way to like 6 months ago. I know you touched on it a little bit as far as like some of these health scares, but like, what was it that made you want to sign up in the first place? Like, what was your headspace like around that time?
So I was searching for some kind of program, something that would work, and I tried it on my own for years. I couldn't find anything. I was fed up, staring down the barrel of a possible cancer diagnosis, pre-diabetic, and I'm like, God, I need you to help me. I don't know where to go. I don't know what I'm doing wrong. I don't know how to lose this weight, but I want to be around for my family. And I'm scrolling through Instagram one day and I come across Tyler, the fit chemist. One of the videos you posted, I can't remember what it was, but I ended up liking it. And in that video, you didn't even mention that it was for busy Christian men. You DM me the next day and something felt right. Like, okay, I just prayed this prayer. And
Yeah.
now here on my phone is this guy. I started looking through more of your videos and like, oh, for busy Christian men. I'm a busy Christian man. So it took a little bit of convincing on my wife's end, just because all the other all my other endeavors to lose weight just kind of never panned out. So she
Mm.
didn't know if I would stick to it, and couldn't really blame her for the doubt because that's kind of the bar that I set. But with a little bit of convincing, she said, "Okay, you can sign up for a month." And within the first month, I think I lost what, 7 pounds. So immediate results,
Mm.
and that was that, man.
Yeah.
From the beginning.
Yeah. Maybe you can speak to that a little bit more just because I don't typically do that. And I know it's something where after we had that conversation, it was something where because of your past history of like trying on your own, maybe not sticking with things, stuff like that, I was like, dude, like get in here for a month. I know you're going to love it. I know you're going to fall in love with the program and you'll blow your wife's socks off, like with the fact that the weight that you're seeing as far as that coming off on the scale and all of that. So maybe you can walk through that a little bit just because I know there's some guys out there that will be watching this, and there's guys that I've talked to on Zoom calls before that they're in a similar spot where maybe 2, 3, 4 years have gone by, and the fact that they either haven't done anything or like they've done something and they haven't stuck to it. I guess maybe you can speak to that type of person real quick.
Well, I mean, when you kind of set those, when you kind of set that bar where you can't keep a commitment to yourself, it's kind of difficult to stick to anything.
Mhm.
Um, it's hard for you to really trust yourself. You know what I mean? If you don't have that trust in yourself, then it doesn't matter what kind of goal you set out to accomplish, you're just not going to do it. And in my case, that's the bar that I set with my wife. So even though I felt it, I knew that this program was different. I knew that I needed coaching, I needed help. I had to prove myself, not only for my wife, but to myself. Like, hey, you do have the discipline to stick to this. You can do this. And you're not gonna know unless you commit. If you never commit, and it doesn't matter what program you sign up for, even the Physique Lab, without the commitment, you're not gonna get this. You're not gonna get those results.
Yeah, 1000%. I'm glad that you said that just because it is backing yourself up with action and you're never going to know unless you take that first step. The reason that I don't typically do that anymore is just because like I've done it a few times and I would say you were by far like the all-star success story in doing that. And there's been other times where like I've offered that to someone and they'll come in and there's zero commitment for a month. They don't get the result. Like I'm putting in the work to try and help them with the plan and nutrition. And both of us have a bad taste in our mouth because that commitment isn't there. It's two sides of the table. And the reason that you saw success in that is because I saw that potential and I knew that you were going to do that and you were actually hungry to make that change. And after that first month, it's like, dude, the next 5 months, no brainer. Like, let's go. So now here we are, 36 pounds lighter.
Mm-hmm.
Like, see it on the smile on your face, which is amazing. So, what would you say the experience was like of being inside the program, like working with myself, the other coaches, just the program at large? Like, now that you've gone through it, what was that like?
And like I said, in every one of those check-ins, it's been an absolute pleasure. From the accountability, which is by far the biggest thing I feel like helped me the most. There's the accountabilities. There's the community of Christian men. You have the Slack channel, which I didn't really participate much in because of my lifestyle, always busy. But man, the support is there. You have a question, you have 30 dudes ready to answer it. You have a question, the coaches get back to you quick. You're having an issue. You don't know, oh, am I plateauing? Is this okay? I mean, I even think, yeah, there was one instance where I went out to eat at a restaurant that didn't offer the macros. I was
Mm.
like, I don't know what to do. It was a church gathering, and you told me send me the menu, and you looked at the menu for me and say, hey, I'll stick with this, and this, and I'll stick with from these things. So you guys have definitely for the last 6 months gone up way above and beyond my expectations, way above.
Appreciate
So
that, man. Yeah, I remember the menu thing. That was kind of early on,
yeah, yeah,
maybe like a month or two in.
yeah. I mean, at that point, I already knew that this was a great program, but when you did that for me, I was like, where else are you gonna see that level of commitment to the guys in the program?
Yeah. Above and beyond, man. We care
Yeah.
about your results as well. But that goes back to the conversation that we had earlier. Like, if you're not willing to do that, and if you weren't willing to ask me, like, hey, Ty, can you take a look at this menu? You would not have gotten as amazing results as you did because it's both of us coming together and like I'm helping you make those decisions so that way you can put yourself a step closer to your goals instead of just going into that event and like, well, what the heck do I eat? And then the scale
Hmm.
goes up 3 pounds the next day and you get frustrated and you want to quit and like all that kind of stuff. So like props to you on your end for taking that initiative as well. But what would you say is like your favorite part about the coaching style?
Honestly, man, the accountability. You
Mm,
guys don't sugarcoat, straight shooters to the point. There's no time, there's no space for playing games. It's either this is the commitment, this is what we're here for, this is what we're doing. It's
mm.
not like, oh, it's okay if you overeat here or making exceptions or making excuses as to why you can't work out. You know, when one of your videos that I saw on Instagram, you're like, it's okay to move a workout, but there's no excuse to miss one, unless something really happens. But
Yeah.
if you allow yourself to make these excuses, you'll always find one as to why you can't work out, why you can't, oh, track these macros, why you can't this, why you can't that. You got to set your mind to it and commit to it. And you guys really drill that in us from the early onset.
Yeah, I would say the way I always describe it is that I wouldn't say that we're drill sergeants in terms of coaching because we don't like, bash you over the head. But on the flip side, it's not just like another contact card info in your phone where like, we're not going to be or I say it this way, I'm not scared to have those hard conversations with you and push you outside of your comfort zone because what you guys need is someone who sees that potential in you and pushes you down the path that's going to take you there. And I know that now that you've gone through it, you appreciate that as opposed to if I just told you, like, yeah, it's fine, skip a workout, stuff your
Yeah.
face with whatever you want, like what kind of coach am I? What kind of friend would that be if it's like, hey, yeah, just keep doing something that's taking you towards the metaphorical cliff, so to speak?
Hmm.
We don't want that. But yeah,
Exactly.
man, now that you've gone through it, what would you say is like the biggest lifestyle change or takeaway from the program?
Honestly, I learned how to eat with this program. I learned how to properly track macros, how to properly track calories, and I feel like that's a huge skill to have. I mean, you sit down and you blindly eat all these things. And for myself, looking back now at the things that I used to eat, the quantities I used to eat, and I was like, I think, my God, how was I over here having a 2,000 calorie meal at lunchtime and then having a 400 calorie drink and then having another 2,000 calorie dinner and then a thousand calorie Ben and Jerry's, a whole pint in the sitting. And I think to
Yep.
myself, like, where was my mind? But through this program, at least, I've learned how to track my macros. And because of that, I learned how to, I guess, manipulate my body weight in any way that I so choose to, depending on my goal. So definitely tracking macros has to be the biggest skill that I've learned.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say you've probably been one of the most dedicated clients that I've seen in terms of that. Because I know there are times where you're bringing the food scale to like family events and whatever's going on. You're like, dude, I don't
Uh,
care. I'm like, hey, I'm not going to stop you from doing it. Just so people know, that's certainly not a requirement inside of the
right.
program. I'm not going to make you be that guy. But if you want excellent results, follow his lead because he was on it. He was dedicated, and that's why we're here having this conversation.
Man, I actually have a quick funny story. So I was covering a shift this Saturday. Students moving in, I was just covering, making sure the elevators didn't break down.
Yep.
There was a street fair, like an Asian street fair that had a whole bunch of food. And a buddy of mine goes, "Hey, let's go check out the fair." I brought my food scale to the street fair. I think I got like two shish kebabs. I weighed them and I did the multiplication for the raw
Yeah.
for the raw weight of the meat.
Mm.
And he was laughing, making fun, but I was like, hey man, I didn't get to this by having days off or just I don't gotta track this.
Yep. I was gonna say there's a reason that you look the way that you do, and there's a reason why people who are like at the 6 month old version of you, where you're still 36 pounds heavier, look the way that they do. It's because you're willing to take those actions in order to actually put you there. So I love hearing that, dude. That's a hilarious story. I guess what would you say is something that you learned inside of the program that you feel is going to be that golden ticket for people on the outside? Because oftentimes it's like, hey, you don't really know what you don't know until you actually go through it. Since the biggest change or takeaway you'd say was the nutrition side, would you say that's also the biggest game changer for people who might potentially join in the future? Or is there something else as far as like, hey, this is really what's going to allow you to be successful in this goal?
So I would say it's definitely the nutritional
Mm,
and the accountability that you guys provide. The nutritional, just because I think we've spoken about this before, 80% of this whole thing is your diet. The 20% is the workouts you put in. It doesn't matter how much you work out if you're eating at a calorie surplus all the time and you're not watching what you're eating. You can't have a pint of Ben and Jerry's every night and at the same time get gains. So I would definitely say the nutritional and that accountability kind of I feel plays into the nutritional. If you don't know what to eat or you're making poor decisions, you're able to look into our Avatar app and see, hey, you shouldn't be having this. Try this instead, kind of thing. So having that accountability as far as what you're eating, all is another huge takeaway from the program.
yep. Someone hovering over your shoulder, even though we're not together in person. It's like I'm there. I'm like, hey, yeah, you really need to be logging that? Like, sure you want to eat that?
Man. But
Yeah.
that honestly, I feel like for some of us is what we need, and I know for me, it's what I needed. I just knowing like, hey, Tyler's gonna be able to see what I'm eating. Let me make better decisions. And after a little while, then the habits set in.
Mhm.
Now I'm not thinking like, oh, they can see what I'm eating, let me behave. But I'm thinking, no, let me track this properly. Let me like you just get these habits going and they stick with you.
No, absolutely. I was going to say that's something where I noticed as time went on, less and less communication was needed or questions being asked. Like the menu thing we were talking about earlier, like that happened early on, but once you learn the skills, they're there.
Mm-hmm.
And now having graduated from the program, like those will be with you for the rest of your life. There's no way you're going to unlearn them. And I'm not sorry about it because that's what's going to allow you to maintain this progress for the rest of your life. So I got one more question for you, man. Like oftentimes there's people who they'll come across my Instagram page. Maybe they find me on YouTube, or maybe they go to YouTube from Instagram, whatever it might be. Maybe they've heard about the Physique Lab coaching program. They're interested in joining and getting amazing results just like you have, but they're a little bit hesitant. They're a little bit on the fence. Like what words would you have for that type of person?
I would say get off the fence and make the investment into your health. You got to do it. Like you told me in that first interview, you got to draw that line. You got to draw that line in the sand. You can keep making excuses. No, I can't, but this, but that, but I can't afford this, I can't afford that. We spend money on the most ridiculous of things. But the one thing we don't value the way we should is our health. We'll spend 5,000 on a vacation, but we won't spend a fraction of that for our health. So do it. Don't hesitate. It's 1,000% worth it.
Reach, man. Hopefully that will land with whoever's watching in the future. And that's one of my most difficult jobs on like the initial Zoom call is just like helping someone realize that. But it's like, I promise if you take action, you join the program and you take action like Saul did, you're going to see amazing results. Like our systems work. You are one of many case studies that we have on YouTube and Instagram, just proving that the systems work. The community is amazing, and we'd be happy to help out whoever comes across our way in the future. I don't have any other questions for you. Is there any other last words or things on your mind that you wanted to share for anybody who might be watching in the future?
Just what I said. Got to commit. You got to draw
Amen.
that line. You got to draw that line in the sand. You got to you put your head down and put in the hard work. You join this program, you do those things. I promise you'll have the same exact success. And there's no way that you won't.
Yeah. Amen. Cool, man. We can go ahead and wrap it up there. There you have it, guys. I hope you enjoyed hearing all about his time inside of the Physique Lab coaching program. I don't have much else prepared for you today, but before we part ways, I do want to give you two quick reminders. The first one is that down in the video description, there is going to be a link to a video that breaks down the Physique Lab coaching program in excruciating detail and tells you everything you could possibly want to know about how things work and how we're able to get guys like him such amazing results. The second reminder is that down in the video description, there will also be a link to my calendar. So if you're interested in chatting one-on-one directly with me or someone from my team to learn about how you can get started inside of the Physique Lab coaching program, that is going to be the best way to do it. But that's going to be it for today's video, guys. I hope that you enjoyed it. If you did, please give it a thumbs up. Be sure to subscribe and turn those notification bells on so you don't miss when I post new videos. And with that, I'll see you in the next video.